Hi everyone, back today with another video. I just thought I'd do a quick one. I was playing with Warmode some more and I was trying to see if there was like another way to maximize the amount of gold I'm getting while in it. And a commenter suggested I collect the crates, the war crates that drop while I'm out farming. So I don't have a gatherer. I have a tailor and an enchanter, but I was out collecting the little globs of wax in that farm area I usually use. And I just decided to pick up the crates, the war crates, as I was doing it, just to see if it increased my gold in any way. I did find I was getting the little crests, the little green ones you get to make the PvP gear. You can buy those on the auction house for a couple of silver each, so they weren't too much to sing home about. I've made some PvP gear with it. I'm not wearing it. I've listed it on the auction house. I've spent a lot of gold in the past buying the plans to be able to make the PvP items on my tailor. So I have all of those. So I've started to make those. They're listing for a lot of gold. I have no idea if they're going to sell for a lot of gold. It's possible they will because the amount you have to pay to have the plan, and there might not be many people with it. I don't know. But I've made a couple of those and listed it. But I did find a couple of other benefits of doing this and collecting those crates. So every time you open the crates, you get that little crest I was telling you about. You get some honor and you get some conquest points. And I've been told the bloodstones are really good to buy with the honor points you get. You do have to have a lot of honor points to buy those. So I haven't picked up enough to buy those with yet. I don't do PvP generally. So this is the only way I'm picking up those honor points. But I have been told that come season two, this person anticipates that they will go up in value. So thank you for suggesting that. And I am starting to kind of hoard my honor points for that just in case, because I'm not using them for anything else. I might as well use it for gold making. I was out here doing my globs of wax, and I did find that sometimes when you open those boxes, the war crate boxes, they have additional items in them. So I got an enchant at one point, but it sold for 1 gold. It wasn't anything special. But I did also get a tailoring recipe, the Algari competitors cloth cuffs or something to that effect. And I got that out of it, and that's listing for almost 20,000 gold. I don't know what the drop rate is. I've only opened 4 of these boxes. They seem to come every 15 minutes, and I did this for about an hour just to see what it was like. I don't think I'll do it all of the time, but I am finding now that I've got the Pathfinder flying, the globs of wax farm is actually kind of soothing. I like repetitive things on occasion, depending on what's going on in my life, and something that's predictable and soothing and low stimulation can be very good for me. So I'm finding that I'm really enjoying it at the moment. It's just a good way to break it up a bit. When the treasure box comes up, I go and get the war box. So it's been pretty easy. I'm Alliance, and I'm not finding any competition. I'm not having any problem with PvP. I haven't been killed yet. I haven't been attacked yet either. And every time I go to get the treasure box, and I'll show you a couple in here, I'm never the first to get there, but I always manage to loot it. So I don't know if it's just Alliance is very quick at the moment, but I haven't had a problem. If there's a box and I make it before the box disappears, I get to loot it. So I haven't struggled with that. And I did find the globs of wax, they give you so many items. Like I'm making a fair bit of gold with the globs of wax, just listing the things I'm getting from the piles on the auction house. With this 1 hour farm, I was in and out. Like I did go back to the capital for a bit, a couple of times to check my auctions, to check craft orders, and to list things from my bag while I was there. So it wasn't a solid hour. It was probably more like 45 minutes in total if you count the time I was flying back and forth and in the capital listing things. But I made what I feel was a pretty decent amount of gold. And then I was able to get 2 rubies at the end to buy the box of rocks with. And you get a fair bit of ore out of that. Sometimes a tinderbox if you're lucky, but it's mostly just the ores. And I'm making about 700 gold off a box of rocks, which isn't great. I should maybe be buying just the 1,000 gold box that you can get when you switch out the ruby. But the chance for the tinderbox, I don't know if it's worth doing. I've only got a tinderbox out of it once, but I've only had 3 rubies. So out of 3 boxes, I've gotten a tinderbox once. So it could be worth it. It might not. I don't know. Let me know if you think I should just be buying the gold box for this. Is it worth hoping for a tinderbox, or is that a relatively low drop there? But I did find that plus all of the things I picked up here, not counting the recipes and not counting the patterns, the things I was able to make with the crest, not counting those, because I don't know if they're going to sell. If they do sell, it's a really good farm. But if they don't sell, it's an okay farm. And I think it would really depend on what people are doing in the current season as to whether or not that sells. Those recipes would be also an example of spend gold to make gold. They were not cheap. I buy them because the public orders are really good when people send those through, because you can get the crests that are bound to you when you pick them up, and they make a higher level item. And you get a lot of public orders that way, and people will pay like sometimes a really nice tip. On average, though, you're looking at 1,000 gold per public order you make for those PvP things, which isn't terrible because they're pretty consistent during the week, whereas the public orders for the general gear that other people make with their great vault pieces and their sparks, they tend to be mostly focused around Great Vault Day and the weekend. But these PvP ones are pretty consistent throughout the week. Like, you get them a lot. So it's just a good way to fill in orders during the week when you don't have that big boom. I wouldn't encourage you filling in those PvP orders with the less than enjoyable tips when you've got a good chance of getting a lot of those public orders for the Great Vault, the Spark pieces. Just as a side note here, when you're picking up the little dirt piles, you can, and you get chucked in the air and you have to catch the little spores, you can pick them up with your mount. It works exactly the same, and it's easier. If you've got the Pathfinder, you've definitely got the ability to do the maneuvering you need to do, and it's just much easier that way. It's much faster, especially if you're competing to get those spores. So I just thought I'd show you. I did go over to the Ringing Deeps at the end of this, and I switched up my globs of wax for my little rubies. I did get 2 rubies for the hour. And like I said, it wasn't a solid hour. I was in and out, and I was chatting with mates and things and with my guild. So I wasn't dedicating my 100% of my attention to that farm. So if you're giving it your time and focus, you could probably get more done than I did. I like to do things kind of in a relaxed way. I'm more doing it for enjoyment. I don't have a number goal. It's nice when I pay for my subscription. I'm always paying for my subscription now this way. But it's mostly because I just like this type of gameplay. So I did buy the box of rocks this way. This is just me checking that I'm not valor capped, because it's happened before. I've had all my valor stones all the way to 2,000, and I was completing things and not getting them. So it's just double checking there. But I got 2 of the rubies, and then I go and list them on the auction house. So in all, I reckon I made about 7 to 10,000 gold, just from the waxy globs, what I picked up from the piles, and then swapping them out for those boxes. And then probably, like, if those other things sell, the recipe and those other plans I was able to make, if those things sell, maybe something like 50 or 60,000 gold. But like I said, they have not sold yet. I've just listed them. I have no idea if they will sell. So don't rush out and go do this. I mean, if you've got the plans, the little green marks, the herald things, they're not very expensive at all, especially with this season about to end. So it's like a very small gamble. I'm really just losing out on the exquisite weaver cloth. So I am giving it a go, and I already had the recipe, so it's no biggie if it doesn't sell. Somebody will buy them for 500 at some point, I'm sure. But might as well see if I can get those higher prices. So that's my thoughts on farming the crate while in war mode. I think it's definitely good if you're the type of person who's looking for something steady. I mean, the globs of wax are really steady, but if you're doing herb farming, herb gathering, or mining, that's probably just as beneficial. I mean, you could even go fishing if you really wanted to. And so I think what's important is pairing it with other ways to make gold. I think some people do realm hopping. I think that's a thing where you can swap realms to open as many boxes as possible. I think that would be a lot of work. It could be worthwhile. I mean, if you're picking up a lot of these patterns and you're able to sell them, that could be worthwhile. But I think it would be a lot of work. It really just depends on what you're into. I mean, if you're really into PvP and you're looking to gear up outside of battlegrounds before you go in, this is a really good way to do it. Getting a lot of honor and conquest. You could get a basic outlay doing this. But if you're just a regular gold farmer, I think pairing it with something else you're already doing is the way to go. While we're here, I just thought I'd talk about my video for yesterday. This is the mail open for this morning, and then I have another mail open next for what I made today while doing this gold farm and my enchants and things around that. I pretty much just duplicated today what I did yesterday, the making, the tailoring the accessory gear and the enchants and putting those on the auction house throughout the day while I was doing my other farms. Those tinder boxes did not sell. They're still listed on the auction house because I will not sell them for less than 2,500 because I'm very sure if I just wait for the next expansion, I'll be selling them for a lot more. So I'm not willing to sell them for less, and I am willing to wait that out. But just from yesterday's gold farm, just the day of what I was doing, that video there, I made 57,000 gold. And like I said, those tinder boxes did not sell. So it was other things that made me that gold. And then today with that other gold farm, the globs of wax farm, plus the making of those accessories and enchants throughout the day, got me another 37,000 gold. So in total, in the last 24 hours, without selling any tinder boxes, in the last 24 hours, I've made 97,000 gold. You know, and that's around average for me on days where I can give it a little bit of time. I spent maybe 2 hours today in total because I log in the morning and I relist anything that didn't sell where I have my coffee. And then I go do other stuff. And then I did give that hour today for that globs of wax farm. And like I said, I was coming backwards and forwards in between. I did get really lucky with one of the spores. Somebody, the Viridian spore cap or whatever it is, the thing you can swap for the tinder boxes. Somebody had listed those for 50 gold a piece. I think they'd listed them for vendor price. I'm not sure what happened there, but I was able to buy, I think, 16 of them at 50 gold each. And then I relisted them for 760 gold each. So I made a nice little flip off of that. I just got really lucky there. There was a lot more at the time, but I was not able to buy them fast enough. So congrats to anybody who picked that up if you're one of those people watching this video. But I made a lot of gold in the last 24 hours. I'm confident once those tinder boxes go through, that'll really add to this price. It is a bit sad to be so close to 100,000 in a 24-hour period, not quite make it, but that's okay. There's always other times. So if you found this video helpful in any way or entertaining, give it a like and a subscribe. That's super helpful for me and it's free for you. And I really, really appreciate it. It helps the YouTube algorithm know who to show this to, and I can help more people find ways to pay for their WoW subscription. I have learned recently that you can use gold to pay for your WoW expansions as well. So I'm hoarding gold for that because there are times where I just can't justify spending real life money on a mount that comes with the expansion pack, but I can 100% spend gold. So I am putting some money aside, some gold aside for that. That's one of my goals for the future, to pay for the next expansion in gold. I just wanted to say, this is me from the future. I just wanted to say that I realized when I went and checked in my auction house, just right after this video, basically, there was stuff pending, at like almost 5,000 gold worth of stuff pending. So I did make that 100,000 mark. I mean, it may not technically count because it wasn't in my mailbox, but still, my brain says yes, so I'm going to count it. That's a win. So that's really it. If you have anything in particular you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. Or if you have any questions or anything I didn't fully explain, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them there. And that's it for today. As always, remember, girls don't play WoW.